Dandy's World is too easy. Well, at least for most of your run. This game solo doesn't even get even close to difficult until the third to fourth enemy is added around the 13 to 15 floor range. Although the game can be a little difficult before this part of the game, it's mostly due to bad RNG with the twist that you get. So what can we do about this? Well, I think we remove two of the things from this game, and that is our sprint and our items. The rules for this run are pretty simple. I'm not allowed to sprint and I'm not allowed to pick up items, if you couldn't tell by the title. And what is our goal? Well, the goal for this challenge is to get to floor 20, which on a regular run isn't difficult at all, just a very long process. And yes, that's right, it's possible to get past floor 10 on most of your runs. Do not listen to what the 9-year-old you cannot get past floor 5 tell you. Now it's time to go over the mechanics of this game. So sit down in your classroom chair while you listen to me poorly go over the mechanics that I can even think of in this game. This game does a couple of things to help the player out on their journey. The first is to drop items on the floor, which we can't pick up. The second thing is this goofy little flower that shows up before the even numbered floors. What does he do? He sells items. Dang, we're 0-2 so far. Is there anything else? Yes, there is actually one more thing. For every odd number floor, we will get a selection of cards to choose from that can do anything from giving the player items, which we can't use, to giving the player more stamina, which is also useless. Although a lot of these are not going to be useful for us, there are a few that will help us out. One of the most important ones are the ones that reduce the machine completion time and the ones that reduces the twisted speed during panic mode. What is panic mode? Well, once you complete the last machine on each floor, the game will go in panic mode. A timer will begin to count down, and you have that much time to get into the elevator. In panic mode, the twisted will be given a speed boost, so it is very important that we are able to get the reduced one. There is actually one more thing that the game does that we can use, and these are trinkets. These are unlocked through the store or completed a Twisted research, and they are used to help the player. There's only two trinkets that we really care about, and those are the Speedy Shoes and the Dog Plush, which both increase our walk speed. However, there are two main things that the game does to try and stop the player, one of which is a blackout, which does what it sounds like, turns the lights off. The next is a new one called an eye leak, which put this black liquid onto the ground, and if you step on it, you'll be slowed down and your skill check size will be decreased. There are a variety of enemies in this game that have the sole purpose of stopping you from liking the game, so what better way to explain them than by a tier list? Let's start out with the enemies that are no threat to us, and those are Razzle and Dazzle, Roger, and Connie. Razzle and Dazzle's mechanic is that if you sprint within the circle that is around him, he will wake up and take a heart, but we can't sprint, so he's no threat. Roger will hide as one of the research capsules and will only activate if you pick his capsule up. We can tell what capsule he is because his does not have any film in the middle of it, so as long as we're paying attention, he's not a threat. Connie will sometimes go inside one of the machines. If we go on a machine while she is inside of it, she will take a heart. We can tell which one she is by the red dial on the machine turning blue. So again, as long as we're paying attention, literally not a threat. Next are the ones that are not really that scary. These include Louie, Boxton, Cosmo, Brescia, Brightney, Poppy, Shrimpo, Tisha, Yada, and Gigi. Almost all of these, except for one, work basically the same way. They'll just chase you when they see you. Gigi is the one that has the unique mechanic. Is when which she sees you, she'll try and take your items from a distance. But, since we don't have any items, her mechanic's useless. Next are the ones that are a little scary. This includes Toodles, Finn, Flutter, and Blot. Toodles is in this category mostly because of how fast she is in panic mode. However, she does not have a unique mechanic. Finn will slow you down every time you finish a machine, and since we can't run, this can be a little bit of a problem. Flutter is on here because of how she moves. Most Twisteds will stop before they decide which way to go, but Flutter will never stop moving, making her a lot easier to be seen by and a lot less predictable. Last is Blot, who will sit in place and place his hands in the ground. When he does this, two big hands will appear on parts of the map, and if you get too close, they will swing and take a heart if they hit. This can sometimes block your path. Next are the Twisteds that have me shaking. These are Scraps, Goob, and Glisten. Scraps is a trained U.S. Marine sniper, and Goob is her brother who wants to be just like her. Both of these guys will attack you using long-range attacks when they first see you, and if you get behind something or get out of range, it won't be able to hit you, but it's a lot harder without sprinting. Glisten is the bane of my existence. He will not be aggroed to the player at first. He has a bar that fills up, and to keep the bar from filling up, the player needs to stay close to him at all times. If it fills up all the way, he will quickly turn into an enemy and try to get you. When he is in this mode and sees us, it is almost always a guaranteed heart loss. What's worse is when you complete the final machine, he will go into this mode regardless of if someone's near him. Now we get into the special characters. Dandy's World has a tier of characters known as the mains and lethals. The main characters all have a special mechanic that make them a lot harder than the regular Twisted. Let's start with Astro. Astro is by far the least scary main we can get in this run because his mechanic is when he sees you, he makes your stamina regeneration slower. But the only way we can use stamina is by sprinting, so he goes into the not really scary tier. Next up is V. V will put pop ups on your screen when she is on the floor, but when she sees you, she will give you the slow effect. Originally, she was going to be put under the potential run ender, but when I got her in my runs, I was able to get away from her pretty easily, so she's in the shaken tier. Sprout is the next one, and he is going in the same category as V. He, like Scraps and Goob, will try and hit you with a ranged attack. Shelly could go under the potential run ender category, but I put her with Sprout and V. When you enter a floor of Shelly, she will lower your machine completion speed. Stack that on top of her being pretty fast, she becomes a real issue. Finally, there's Pebble. Pebble is the first run ender toon. He is one of the fastest Twisteds in the game, and he has some crazy eyesight, so he will see you from afar. Out of all my runs, I died to Pebble the most. The last category is for lethals, and their main thing is that they can one-shot you. Dials is the new lethal, and he is also very fast. But when you get him on the floor, you have to do 25 machines, which is mostly why I'm putting him under the run tier. Last is the main man himself, Dandy. He goes into the little scary tier. Dandy will also one-shot you, but he is also able to hear each machine you complete. The problem is that he's way too slow to actually be a threat. Now that we've talked about every enemy, let's talk about the playable characters. Every enemy in the game except for Dials and Dandy is a playable character. The characters that are the most useful for this run are the ones that have the 4 and 5 star movement speed. With the trinkets that I mentioned earlier, you will be able to outwalk most of the Twisteds in the game, especially as a 5-star movement speed toon. However, these two toons have crappy extraction speed, so I decided to go with Yada and Flight for most of my runs. Yada has 4-star movement speed and 5-star extraction speed, and Flight has 4-star on both of those categories, but his ability will give us a speed boost, so he will go faster. We finally got the mechanics over with. Now we can finally get into some runs. And you know what? I don't think this challenge is going to be that bad, okay? This might even be done in one of... Yeah. Oh my god. So my first actual run went to floor 11 before Pebble decided to do some funny things and then the run. Attempts 3, 4, and 5 were all streamed on my Twitch, and attempt 4 actually made it to floor 13, but I messed up in the editing, so I don't have that footage anymore. And floor 5 gave us a new personal best of floor 14 before getting Glisten for the 4th time in that run, and he got paired up with Goob and Pebble. Did he get anyone? Oh my god! That's crazy. So we got Pebble, and we got Glisten for the second time. I mean, 4th time. Second time in a row, but 4th time we got Glisten. And now I can't even see. Oh my god, and we got Goo! Bro, what is this combination? That's game. Yep, that's game. Oh my god. Attempt number 6 got pretty far. until I did this. Oh my god! I can't believe I did that. Attempts 7, 8, and 9 were all streamed on Twitch. However, I no longer have the file for them anymore. However, if you want to see those runs in particular, they are uploaded onto my second channel. The only thing to know out of those 3 runs is on attempt 9 when I actually did get dials. And I'm not going to go over that because I have a whole separate video about that. Attempt 10 ended like this. However, attempt 11 was different. Not only were we getting extremely lucky with the enemies we were getting, but I was actually doing pretty good. This was the first attempt since attempt 5 to get the floor 14, and it kept going. And finally, after 11 attempts, I proved just how easy this game can be. Oh my god! Let's go! Let's go! Oh my! Ringing the bell! Because of things I said in my streams of this, I also decided to try and beat floor 20. Okay. Alright. Alright. Oh my goodness. I'm too good. Let's go! Yes! And that's how I beat a Danny's World No Sprint, No Item Challenge. If you want the proof for this run, it'll be in my second channel linked in the description. I hope you all enjoyed the video and have a great day.